Good morning, beautiful soul. Take a deep breath with me right now. Feel the air filling your lungs, and as you exhale, let go of every worry you carry about speaking English. I want you to know something profound this morning. Your voice matters, your story matters, and your English journey is not about perfection. It's about connection, courage, and finding the confidence that already lives inside you. Maybe you're listening to this while having your morning coffee, maybe you're walking to work, or perhaps you're lying in bed, gathering strength for another day. Wherever you are, I want you to feel something shift inside you today. Because learning English isn't just about memorizing words or following grammar rules. It's about giving yourself permission to be heard, to reach across cultures, and to express the beautiful thoughts that dance in your mind but sometimes get stuck when you try to speak them out loud. I know that feeling. I know what it's like to have something important to say, but feel like the words get tangled between your heart and your mouth. I know the frustration of understanding everything when you listen, but feeling frozen when it's your turn to speak. That heaviness you feel, that voice in your head saying, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never sound natural." I hear you, and I want you to know that you're not alone in this. Think of English not as a subject you have to master, but as a bridge you're building between who you are now and who you're becoming. Every word you learn, every sentence you speak, every mistake you make with love and intention is adding another plank to that bridge. You don't need to see the other side clearly yet. You just need to trust that each step forward is taking you somewhere beautiful. This morning meditation isn't about pushing yourself harder or being more disciplined. It's about being gentler with yourself while you grow. It's about recognizing that fluency isn't a destination you arrive at suddenly. It's a feeling that grows stronger each time you choose courage over comfort. Each time you speak despite the fear. Each time you celebrate a small victory instead of focusing on what you still need to learn. By the time we finish this journey together today, I promise you'll feel lighter. You'll have practical tools that fit into your real life, not just your study time. You'll have affirmations that remind you of your progress when doubt creeps in. Most importantly, you'll remember that your English doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful. Your accent doesn't have to disappear for your message to matter. Your confidence doesn't have to wait until you know every word in the dictionary. Today, we're going to rewire the way you think about speaking English. We're going to transform your morning routine into a gentle practice of building confidence. We're going to help you fall in love with your voice again, exactly as it is right now, while it's still growing and changing and becoming more beautiful every day. So settle in with me. Let your shoulders relax. Smile at yourself with the same kindness you'd show a dear friend who's learning something new. Because that's exactly what you are, a brave, beautiful person who decided that growing was more important than staying comfortable. And that decision, my friend, is where all the magic begins. Let's start by acknowledging something that no one talks about enough. The fear you feel about speaking English is not a sign that you're bad at languages. It's a sign that you care deeply about connecting with others, and that caring is actually your greatest strength. The fear means you want to be understood. It means you have something valuable to share. And instead of seeing that fear as an enemy, we're going to transform it into fuel for your confidence. Right now, I want you to say this with me out loud if you can, or whisper it if you need to. I am not behind. I am exactly where I need to be. Feel those words. Let them settle into your heart. Because the truth is, there is no timeline for language learning. There's no age limit on fluency. There's no point where it becomes too late to find your voice in English. Think about a tree growing in your garden. Does the tree apologize for not being taller? Does it compare itself to the oak next door and decide it's not worth growing anymore? Of course not. The tree simply grows, season by season, storm by storm, adding rings of strength and reaching toward the light. Your English is growing the same way. Every conversation you have, every word you look up, every time you choose to listen instead of giving up, you're adding rings of strength to your language tree. I want to share something with you that changed everything for me when I was learning my second language. I was sitting in a cafe, wanting desperately to order something different from my usual, but I was terrified of mispronouncing the word and having the server look at me with confusion. So I ordered the same thing I always did, safe and familiar, and walked away feeling smaller than when I walked in. But then I realized something beautiful. Every person in that cafe had been exactly where I was at some point in their lives. The woman reading her newspaper had once struggled to ask for directions. The man typing on his laptop had once stumbled over verb tenses. The teenager laughing with friends had once felt embarrassed about her accent. We're all just humans learning to connect with each other, and everyone understands what it feels like to be learning. That realization gave birth to what I call the compassion mindset. Instead of focusing on what you don't know yet, you focus on celebrating what you do know. Instead of hearing mistakes, you hear courage. Instead of judging your accent, you honor your effort. This shift in perspective doesn't just make learning easier, it makes it joyful. Here's your first morning practice. Before you check your phone, before you start your day, before you let the world tell you who you should be, take 30 seconds to remind yourself of this truth. My English is growing stronger every day. My voice matters in any language. I choose progress over perfection. Say it again. My English is growing stronger every day. My voice matters in any language. I choose progress over perfection. The beautiful thing about starting your day with this affirmation is that it sets the tone for how you'll interact with English for the rest of the day. When you encounter a word you don't know, instead of feeling defeated, you'll feel curious. When someone speaks quickly and you miss something, instead of feeling embarrassed, you'll ask them to repeat it with the confidence of someone who knows they're learning. And here's something magical I want you to understand. Native speakers make mistakes too. They forget words, they stumble over sentences, they say and while they think. Perfect English doesn't exist, even among people who have spoken it their entire lives. So why are we holding ourselves to a standard that doesn't even exist? From this moment forward, I want you to replace the word mistake with practice opportunity. When you say something incorrectly, instead of thinking, I made a mistake, think, I just had a practice opportunity. This small change in language creates a massive change in how you feel about your progress. Let's practice this together. Think of something you said in English recently that didn't come out quite right. Instead of remembering it with embarrassment, I want you to remember it with pride. You tried. You put yourself out there. You chose vulnerability over silence. That's not a mistake. That's courage in action. Your confidence isn't going to appear overnight like magic. It's going to grow like a sunrise, slowly and steadily, warming everything it touches. Some mornings the sun rises behind clouds, and that's okay. Some days your confidence might feel hidden, and that's perfectly normal. But just like the sun is always there, even behind the clouds, your ability to speak English beautifully is always there, even when fear tries to hide it. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, before you let doubt creep in, I want you to remember this moment. Remember that someone believes in you completely. Remember that your journey is valid exactly as it is. Remember that every time you choose to speak, you're not just practicing English, you're practicing being brave, and that bravery will serve you in every area of your life. Now let's talk about listening, not the anxious kind of listening, where you pressure yourself to understand every single word, but the gentle, heart-centered listening that actually helps your brain absorb English naturally. When you listen with anxiety, your mind becomes like a tight fist, grasping at words and missing the music of the language. But when you listen with your heart open, your mind becomes like a garden, allowing the language to plant seeds that will bloom when you're ready. I want you to imagine listening to English the way you listen to rain falling on your window. You don't stress about catching every individual raindrop. You don't judge the rain for being too fast or too slow. You simply let it wash over you, finding peace in its rhythm. This is how I want you to approach English listening from now on. Here's a beautiful practice you can start today. As you go through your morning routine, begin describing your actions to yourself in simple English. Not because you have to, but because you want to invite English into the most peaceful parts of your day. While you're making your coffee, whisper to yourself, "I am making coffee. The water is hot. This smells wonderful." While you're brushing your teeth, "I am taking care of myself. This is my morning ritual. I am preparing for a beautiful day." The magic happens when you stop translating from your first language and start thinking directly in English. I know this sounds impossible right now, but it's more natural than you think. Remember when you learned to ride a bicycle? At first, you had to think about every movement, balance, pedaling, steering, but eventually, your body just knew how to ride. Your brain can learn to think in English the same way. Start with the simplest thoughts. When you see your reflection in the mirror, think, "I see myself," instead of translating that thought from your native language. When you feel hungry, think, "I am hungry," instead of thinking the word in your first language and then converting it. These tiny moments of direct thinking in English are like drops of water that eventually become a flowing river. I want to share something personal with you. When I was learning to think in English, I started by having conversations with my pet. I know it sounds silly, but my cat became my first English conversation partner. I would tell him about my day. "Hi, buddy. I had a good morning. I drank tea and read a book. How was your day?" He didn't judge my grammar. He didn't care about my accent, and slowly, speaking English started feeling less like performing and more like simply expressing myself. You can do this too. Talk to your plants, your reflection, your pet, or simply to the air around you. The goal isn't to have profound conversations, it's to make English feel like a natural part of your inner world. When English stops feeling foreign and starts feeling like home, that's when real fluency begins. As you go through your day, try this gentle practice. Narrate your life like you're the main character in a peaceful movie. I am walking to the kitchen. I feel grateful for this moment. The sunlight is coming through the window. I am choosing what to eat for breakfast. This isn't about perfect grammar or impressive vocabulary. It's about making English the language of your daily experience. And here's something beautiful. When you start thinking in English about ordinary moments, extraordinary moments become easier to express too. If you can think, I am drinking water without effort, then thinking, I am happy, or I am proud of myself becomes just as natural. Listen to English content that makes you feel good. Instead of forcing yourself through news articles or academic videos that stress you out, choose podcasts, songs, or videos that inspire you. When you associate English with positive emotions, your brain stops seeing it as work and starts seeing it as pleasure. I want you to be especially gentle with yourself during this phase. Some days, thinking in English will feel effortless. Other days, your brain might feel tired and want to retreat to your comfortable first language. Both experiences are completely normal. Language learning isn't linear, it's like a dance, with steps forward, steps back, and beautiful moments of spinning in place while you find your balance. Before we continue, I want you to pause this recording for just a moment. Look around wherever you are right now. Choose 3 objects you can see and say their names in English out loud. Then make one simple sentence about each object. For example, I see a cup. This cup is blue. I like this cup. Take your time. Let your voice be gentle and unhurried. Did you do it? How did that feel? Even if the words felt clunky or unfamiliar, you just practice thinking and speaking in English about your immediate reality. That's exactly what fluency is, being able to express your present moment experience in English. If this practice resonated with you today, if you felt even a tiny shift in how you think about English learning, I would love to hear from you. Take a moment to subscribe to our English from the Heart community because you belong here. You're not just learning a language, you're finding your voice. And in the comments below, share one simple sentence about how you're feeling right now. It could be, I am hopeful, or I am trying, or I am here. Whatever you share will inspire someone else who's on this same beautiful journey. Now comes the part that often feels the most scary, but is actually the most beautiful: speaking English in real situations. I want to reframe something important for you today. You don't need to wait until your English is perfect to start using it in real life. You can start expressing yourself authentically right now with exactly the words you know today. Think about a young child learning to talk. They don't wait until they can speak in perfect sentences before they start communicating. They point, they gesture, they use the few words they know, and somehow, magically, they make themselves understood. They're not embarrassed about their limited vocabulary. They're simply excited to connect with the world around them. This is the energy I want you to bring to your English practice. Let's start with the most basic real-life situation: being authentically yourself in English. When someone asks, "How are you?" instead of automatically saying, "Fine, thank you," try expressing how you actually feel. I am a little tired today, but happy. I am excited about the weekend. I am learning something new, so I feel proud. These honest responses are worth more than 100 perfect grammar exercises because they're coming from your heart. I want to walk you through some everyday situations and show you how simple English can create real connections. Imagine you're at a coffee shop. Instead of just pointing at what you want, try, "I would like the coffee that smells like vanilla, please." If you don't know the exact name, describe what you want. "The sandwich with the green vegetables, please." The person helping you will understand, and more importantly, you'll feel proud of yourself for communicating clearly. When you're talking with a friend, instead of staying silent because you're worried about making mistakes, try sharing your thoughts simply. "I watched a movie last night. It was about friendship. It made me think about my own friends." You don't need complex vocabulary to share something meaningful. Simple words carrying genuine emotion are always more powerful than complicated sentences without feeling. Here's something I learned that changed everything for me. Fluency isn't about knowing big words or complex grammar. Fluency is about being able to express your authentic thoughts and feelings without the language getting in the way. Some of the most beautiful conversations I've ever had were with people who spoke simple English but spoke it from their hearts. Let's practice expressing emotions, because this is where English becomes truly alive. Instead of just saying, "I am happy," try, "Something good happened today, and I feel light inside." Instead of, "I am sad," try, "My heart feels heavy today." Instead of, "I am confused," try, "My mind has many questions right now." These expressions might sound simple, but they're much more authentic than memorized phrases. And here's a secret about real conversations. Native speakers use simple words most of the time too. We say, "I'm hungry," not "I'm experiencing a desire for sustenance." We say, "That's funny," not "That's highly amusing." The English you need for real life is much simpler and more accessible than you think. I want you to start celebrating micro victories. Did you ask for directions today? Even if you stumbled over the words, that's a victory. Did you express an opinion in English, even if your grammar wasn't perfect? That's a victory. Did you understand the main idea when someone spoke to you quickly? That's a victory. These small moments of courage and progress are building your confidence brick by brick. One of my favorite practices is what I call English moments of beauty. Throughout your day, when you notice something beautiful, a flower, a kind gesture, a moment of sunshine, describe it to yourself in English. The flowers in that garden are dancing in the wind. That person's smile made my day brighter. The rain sounds like music on the roof. When you connect English with beauty and gratitude, it stops feeling like work and starts feeling like poetry. Let's talk about handling misunderstandings, because they're going to happen and they're absolutely normal. When someone doesn't understand you, instead of feeling embarrassed and giving up, try explaining in a different way. If they don't understand, "I need the bus schedule," you can say, "What time does the bus come?" If they don't understand a word you used, you can describe it, the thing you use to write instead of pen. This isn't giving up. This is being resourceful and creative with your English. I also want you to know that it's perfectly okay to ask for help. "Could you speak more slowly, please?" is a perfectly valid and useful sentence. "I didn't understand that word" is honest communication. "Could you explain that again?" shows that you're engaged and learning. Native speakers appreciate when you ask for clarification rather than pretending to understand. Here's your real-life challenge for this week. Have one authentic conversation in English every day. It doesn't have to be long or complex. It could be thanking someone sincerely. Thank you so much for your help. You made my day easier. It could be sharing an observation. The weather is so beautiful today. It makes me feel grateful. It could be asking a genuine question. How do you like living in this city? I'm curious about your experience. The goal isn't to impress anyone with your English. The goal is to use English as a tool for human connection. When you focus on connecting rather than performing, your natural fluency starts to emerge. You stop thinking about whether you sound perfect and start thinking about whether you're sharing something true and meaningful. Remember, every conversation you have in English, no matter how simple, is making you stronger and more confident. You're not just practicing language, you're practicing being brave, being vulnerable, and being authentically yourself in a new way. Let's talk about something that no one addresses enough in language learning: falling in love with your own voice speaking English. Right now, you might feel like your English voice is a stranger, like it doesn't quite belong to you yet. But I want to help you discover that your English voice is not separate from who you are. It's another beautiful expression of your unique spirit. First, I need you to release the idea that you need to sound like someone else. You don't need to sound American or British or Australian. You need to sound like you, speaking English clearly and confidently. Your accent is not a flaw to be fixed. It's part of your story, part of what makes your voice uniquely yours. When you speak English with your own natural rhythm and intonation, you're not making mistakes. You're creating a beautiful blend of who you are and the language you're learning. Here's a practice that will transform how you feel about your spoken English. Every morning, record yourself saying something positive in English. It could be as simple as, "Good morning, beautiful day. I am ready to learn and grow." Then listen to your recording not with criticism, but with the same kindness you'd show a dear friend. Notice the parts where your voice sounds confident and warm. Notice how your personality shines through, even in a second language. The magic of this practice isn't just in hearing your voice, it's in training your ear to appreciate your voice. When you stop judging how you sound and start appreciating the courage it takes to speak, your confidence naturally begins to grow. Your voice becomes less foreign to you, and speaking English starts feeling less like performing and more like simply being yourself. Let's talk about rhythm and flow, because English has a beautiful musical quality that you can learn to feel rather than just memorize. English speakers don't speak in perfectly even beats like a metronome. We speed up on less important words and slow down on words that carry emotion or meaning. We pause for breath, for thought, for emphasis. This natural rhythm is what makes English sound alive and human. Listen to this sentence and feel its rhythm. I woke up this morning feeling grateful for another chance to grow. Notice how woke up, morning, grateful, chance, and grow get more emphasis, while the smaller words flow quickly between them. This isn't something you need to memorize. It's something you can feel when you listen with your heart instead of your analytical mind. Here's a beautiful way to practice this natural rhythm. Choose a sentence that means something to you personally. Maybe it's, "I am exactly where I need to be," or "Every day I become more confident," or "I choose kindness over perfection." Say this sentence slowly, letting your voice rise and fall naturally on the words that feel most important to you. Don't worry about rules. Trust your instincts about which words carry the most emotion. Now, I want to teach you about something called shadowing, but we're going to do it with love instead of pressure. Find a recording of someone speaking English in a way that feels warm and inspiring to you. It could be a meditation, a motivational speech, or even just someone telling a story. Listen to a short section, maybe just one sentence, and then repeat it, trying to match not just the words but the feeling behind the words. The goal isn't to sound exactly like that person. The goal is to borrow their confidence, their rhythm, their ease, and blend it with your own natural voice. It's like learning a dance. You're not trying to become the teacher, but you're learning the steps so you can dance in your own beautiful way. Breathing is the foundation of confident speaking, and most language learners forget to breathe properly when they're nervous about speaking English. Practice this with me right now. Take a deep breath before you speak, allowing your voice to come from a place of calm rather than anxiety. When you speak from your breath rather than from tension in your throat, your voice naturally sounds more confident and clear. Here's something profound. Your English voice will be different from your native language voice, and that's perfectly beautiful. Different languages bring out different aspects of our personality. Maybe your English voice is more thoughtful, or more playful, or more gentle than your voice in your first language. This isn't losing yourself, this is discovering new parts of yourself. I want you to practice speaking English to yourself with the same tone you'd use to comfort a good friend. If your friend was learning your native language and felt frustrated, how would you encourage them? Use that same gentle, supportive tone when you speak to yourself in English. Let your voice carry compassion for your own learning process. Record yourself having a short conversation with an imaginary friend in English. Ask yourself questions and answer them. How was my day today? My day was good. I learned something new. What am I grateful for? I am grateful for my family and for this chance to grow. Listen to this recording and notice how conversational and natural your voice sounds when you're not trying to impress anyone. Your pronunciation doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful. What matters is that you speak clearly enough to be understood and confidently enough to be heard. Some of the most captivating speakers in the world have accents, speak slowly, or make small grammatical errors. Their power comes from speaking authentically and with conviction. Practice ending your English sentences with confidence instead of apologizing for them. Instead of trailing off or adding sorry at the end, let your sentences land with gentle strength. Say, I think the weather is beautiful today, with the same confidence you'd use to state your name. Your thoughts and opinions are valid in any language. Remember, finding your English voice is not about perfection. It's about authenticity. When you speak English with your own natural rhythm, with breath support, and with kindness toward yourself, you create something beautiful and uniquely yours. As we come to the end of our morning meditation together, I want to leave you with something powerful, a daily practice that will weave English confidence into the fabric of your everyday life. This isn't about adding more pressure to your day. It's about creating gentle moments of growth that feel natural and sustainable. Your English confidence practice begins the moment you open your eyes each morning. Before you reach for your phone, before you let the world's demands rush in, take 30 seconds to set an intention in English. It could be as simple as, "Today I will be kind to myself as I learn," or "I will speak English with courage, not perfection," or "I am grateful for my growing ability to express myself." This small morning ritual plants a seed of confidence that will grow throughout your day. As you move through your morning routine, continue this gentle practice of English awareness. While you're making your bed, think, "I am creating order and beauty in my space." While you're preparing breakfast, think, "I am nourishing my body and my dreams." These aren't grammar exercises. They're moments of mindfulness that happen to be in English, making the language feel like a natural part of your inner world rather than something foreign you have to struggle with. Throughout your day, I want you to collect what I call English moments of joy. These are small instances when English brings you happiness rather than stress. Maybe you understand a song lyric that makes you smile. Maybe you successfully explained something to a friend. Maybe you read a quote online that inspires you. Notice these moments and celebrate them because they're proof that English is becoming a source of joy in your life, not just a challenge to overcome. When you encounter English content during your day, whether it's a sign, an overheard conversation, or a social media post, approach it with curiosity rather than pressure. Instead of thinking, "I should understand all of this," think, "I wonder what I can discover here." This shift from obligation to exploration makes learning feel like an adventure rather than a test. Practice what I call English gratitude each evening. Before you go to sleep, identify 3 things you're grateful for and express them in English, either out loud or in your mind. I am grateful for the person who helped me today. I am grateful for the moment when I understood something new. I am grateful for my courage to keep trying. This practice associates English with positive emotions and helps your brain process the language during sleep. Create rituals around English that feel sacred rather than stressful. Maybe you light a candle while you practice speaking. Maybe you make a special cup of tea while you listen to English podcasts. Maybe you sit in your favorite chair when you journal in English. These rituals signal to your brain that English time is special time, worthy of your best energy and attention. I want you to develop what I call your English affirmation collection, a personal set of encouraging phrases that you can return to whenever doubt creeps in. Here are some to start with. I am not perfect. I am progressing. My voice matters in any language. Every word I speak is an act of courage. I am exactly where I need to be in my journey. My English is growing stronger every day. Choose the ones that resonate with you, or create your own. Build English into your existing habits rather than trying to create entirely new study schedules. If you already take evening walks, use that time to practice describing what you see in English. If you already write in a journal, dedicate 1 day a week to writing in English. If you already listen to music while cooking, add some English songs to your playlist. This integration makes English feel like a natural enhancement to your life rather than an additional burden. Most importantly, I want you to cultivate patience with your progress. Language learning is not linear. Some days you'll feel like you're flying, and other days you'll feel like you're crawling. Both experiences are normal and necessary parts of the journey. On the difficult days, return to the basics, breathe deeply, speak kindly to yourself, and remember that every expert was once a beginner. Start building an English support system in your daily life. This might mean joining online communities where people encourage each other's language learning. It might mean finding one friend who also wants to practice English conversation. It might mean following social media accounts that share positive language learning content. Surround yourself with voices that remind you that you're capable and worthy of fluency. As you continue this journey, remember that your relationship with English is unique to you. Don't compare your progress to others. Don't judge your accent against impossible standards. And don't let anyone convince you that there's only one right way to learn. Your path to English confidence is as individual as your fingerprint, and it's perfect exactly as it is. Before we say goodbye for today, I want you to know that you've just taken a significant step in your English journey. You've spent this time investing in yourself, in your growth, in your dreams of confident communication. That investment will continue paying dividends long after this meditation ends. If this morning practice has touched your heart, if you felt even a moment of hope or possibility, please share that with our English from the Heart community. Subscribe to our channel and let us walk alongside you on this beautiful journey. In the comments below, share your favorite affirmation from today's session, or tell us about one small English victory you've had recently. When we share our struggles and celebrations with each other, we all become stronger. Remember, dear friend, you are not just learning English, you are becoming the most confident, authentic version of yourself. Your voice matters, your story matters, and your English journey is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust the process, celebrate the progress, and know that I believe in you completely. Until tomorrow morning, speak to yourself with kindness, listen to English with joy, and carry the light of possibility in your heart.